Before the late 1980s, citizens of Taiwan and Nigeria had for decades engaged one another in informal and semi-formal mutual economic, commerce, education, and cultural relations. Available records show that in the late 1980s, the governments of Taiwan and Nigeria, led by Presidents Lee Teng-hui and Ibrahim Badamose Babangida, respectively, began exploration of more robust ties. It is also on record that in 1990, their efforts resulted in the signing of a Memorandum of Understanding, MOU. In contemporary international relations, fostering trade and economic ties through bilateral diplomacy is the way countries are going with a view to surviving global disruptions. For Nigeria and Taiwan, it's been 33 years since the establishment of Taiwan's trade mission in Nigeria, and relationships between business to business and government to government have been ongoing. To speak more on Nigeria-Taiwan relations, I have with me in the studio the representative and head of mission, Taiwan Mission in Nigeria, Andy Louis. Your Excellency, Andy Louis, you're welcome to Diplomatic Ties.
Thank you so much for inviting me to come to this great channel so that we can have a much more relaxing way to exchange views.
You're most welcome, Your Excellency. I am Nancy Godi Amunihu. Yes, Your Excellency, you're welcome once again to Diplomatic Ties.
Thank you so much for having me today.
Now, we start like this. 33 years of diplomatic ties. What can Nigeria and Taiwan point to as the fruits of their ties?
Yeah. Right. So first of all, I must commend how the Nigerian government has showed the flexibility and creativity ever since late 1980 and 1990. Both sides have signed the very important MOU for establishing a certain kind of relation outside of what people call a diplomatic recognition, because Nigerian government at that time had already shown great interest of having Taiwan to be part of your strategic development of Nigeria's future. So Taiwan has been regarded as a valuable partner, strategic partner for helping Nigeria to establish the very first time ever recorded export processing zone in Calabar, Cross River State. And I myself have the honor to be posted to Calabar to establish a consulate from Taiwan in Calabar to cope with your government's kind of a development project in Calabar. So that was my first time ever in my diplomatic career to be posted abroad, and Nigeria was my first time.
So you started your diplomatic work with Nigeria
1993,
and in Calabar, to be precise.
In Calabar, Cross River State.
That's good. Now, what has been the structure of the relationship between these two countries?
Right, because every country that established with other country with substantial relation, not necessary to be diplomatic recognition, but substantial relation means the flexibility and creativity. So our government established a mission in Lagos at that time, the capital, and you have a mission set up in Taiwan in our capital, Taipei City, in the 1990s. And then in 1993, we established another consulate in Calabar. So we have two missions at that time, one in Lagos, one in Calabar. But 4 years later, we merged the consulate into Lagos, into one mission, so that our mission can be moved to Abuja with all other embassy and other high commission to Abuja in the year 2000 into Abuja.
So you brought everything to Abuja, the headquarters,
in the year
capital
2000.
of Nigeria.
Yeah, but I left in 1997 to another country, but I witnessed how Nigeria had transformed yourself from the 1990, early 1990 to the late 1990s, so that you can have the 1999 constitution at that time. So I have the honor to witness the whole changes. And Taiwan had played along with Nigeria along the road of development into democracy and also into your industrial development.
Okay, haven't you closed your presence in Calabar and Lagos to bring them to
Abuja?
To Abuja.
Yeah.
Were you having any difficulty or what?
No, because we were treated as a full-fledged diplomatic mission without the diplomatic recognition. So this is the flexibility and creativity from the Nigerian side and our side, because we know that in the international relation, what is the most important essence is to create a model that benefits both sides, no matter it's diplomatic or not. It's always the privilege and always the national interest that put in hand.
Nigeria and Taiwan appear to love themselves, want to do a lot together.
Yeah.
Now with the promise of making southeast of Nigeria the Taiwan of Africa, that's what you are saying.
Yeah.
How can the government to government, people to people, and institution to institution relations help actualize this?
Okay.
What do you have in mind?
Yeah, we were quite privileged to hear that His Excellency President Tinubu, during his presidential campaign in November 2022, in the southeast of Nigeria, openly declared that he would like to create and make the southeast of Nigeria become Taiwan or Africa. He didn't mention China, he didn't mention Hong Kong, and he wanted to make the southeast become Taiwan or Africa, not just for Nigeria. So that means he had a great vision. He had the ambitions of making Nigeria to be able to develop, utilizing Taiwan economic model as a non-oil economy to be able to give reference for Nigeria to develop. So we were happy to see His Excellency inaugurated in May 29 last year. So we've been following up all kind of contact with your federal government, a new government, and also with the new National Assembly. And actually, in the previous government, the Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment had already done a renewal negotiation for the bilateral the agreement for protection of mutual investment. That was signed in 1994, so it need to be renewed. So we were happy to have your federal government approach us actively, wanted to have a negotiation on renew. And because Taiwan and Nigeria, we are both equal member in the World Trade Organization under the leadership of Madame Okonjo-Iweala. Okay. So she supervised this kind of negotiation done properly about 2 years ago. So now both sides, both our government and your government are waiting to sign on the renewal. I will be the one that's signing on behalf of my government, and your trade commissioner in Taiwan will be signing on behalf of your government. So it's waiting in the list of the priority from your federal government and us now. So that's only one of the building block, one building block. And we have so many other things that come up. Science, technology exchange, and also with agricultural stuff.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Nigeria's president, has indicated interest in making southeast of Nigeria the Taiwan of Africa. And that's what you want to help him actualize.
Of course.
That's fine. What areas of development are you going to focus on in the southeast, given that the southeast people are into multi-dimensional business, businesses
industry,
ranging from agriculture, mining, education, industrialization, and transportation? Right.
So that's a very good question, because in His Excellency President Tinubu's kind of ambitious goal, not just the Southeast, because the Southeast might be the first step of creating some model that having Taiwan assistance. Because Taiwan has been well known of an island without any natural resources. We envy Nigeria so much. We have everything, and we have nothing. The only thing we have is the human brain. So we invest into education so much. We want to have the economic model from Taiwan to be able to use by Nigerian government and by Nigerian private sector. But at the state government level, so many state governments had already approached us asking whether or not we can have certain kind of discussion. But from a central government of Taiwan and the federal government of Nigeria, we would like to see the federal government and Taiwan government can sit down and talk. How will the Nigerian master plan, or will the policy guideline from your federal government to approach Taiwan, so that your federal government can speak on behalf of the state government? Because each state had its own interest, each state had its own focus, but put them together into a topic of interest for negotiation will be the responsibility of the federal government. So that is how the Australia had done with Taiwan for the last 20 years. The Australian federal government have a consultation with Taiwan government every year with the permanent secretary level and from the federal government. And they speak on behalf of all the states, like Queensland, South Australia. They speak on all the state government to put up an agenda for the federal government to have a negotiation with Taiwan. So that is the government-to-government structure. Thank you for the question, government-to-government. But we also have a private sector dialogue. That is the biggest organization in Australia, just like NACIMA here in Nigeria. NACIMA of Australia and Taiwan NACIMA sit down together every year, the private sector. So we have the back-to-back negotiation from the federal government and the private sector happen every year. 4 major topics: agriculture, energy and mining. Didn't that sound familiar with Nigeria? Agriculture, energy and mining. And then the third one will be a comprehensive investment and economic consultation that represent whole Nigeria. And then the fourth one will be the private sector dialogue. It's a well-built structure between between Australia and Taiwan. It's been going on for 20 years.
So you want to give Nigeria the
similar model.
Taiwan, Australia model.
Yeah, yeah. And also, actually 3 months ago, the British government and Taiwan government signed and enhanced the trade pact. Actually, about less than 1 week ago, the British and Nigeria signed exactly the same name of enhanced trade pact between your federal government, the Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, with the British government that had the Minister of Trade visiting Nigeria. The British government signed with Taiwan only 3 months ago. Exactly the same thing. Exactly the same thing. Yeah. And then the Canadian government also signed with a comprehensive investment promotion trade with Taiwan. And the French government had done the science and technology agreement with Taiwan. Indian government also had done it less than 3 months ago. So you can see the world trendy of connecting with Taiwan with a comprehensive cover of economy, trading, investment, science, technology, even agriculture are going on. So I think Nigeria is on the right track.
Yeah,
Nigeria, on the right track.
Definitely. Nigeria doesn't do anything that doesn't profit the country. Now, Taiwan is known, like we just said, all over the world as a great industrial hub.
Thank you.
Capable of manufacturing anything under the sun. What is the magic wand?
Well, like I mentioned, we have no natural resources. The only thing we have is the human brain. So our government, it actually took Taiwan 50 years to develop up to this stage. Because 50 years ago, Taiwan was very poor, war-torn, devastated. The only thing we have is from a very handful scratch of agriculture, like banana plantation or rubber plantation. So we started to accumulate some small money out of this kind of economy, and we invest into education. My government provided free education for all the school children. Because we had nothing, we only have what that. So that's how Taiwan developed from basic education to higher education. And then we have developed from all stages, from agriculture, light industry, heavy industry, to information technology, information technology. So this is how Taiwan developed. We always have to review what we have and what we have built and what we're going to build in the future. So this is our model. I think it's quite valuable for Nigeria to take it as a reference, because that's what the Nigerians call non-oil economy.
Okay, what would you say about the quality of your products?
Quality?
Taiwanese products.
Actually, I have to be honest. 40, 30 years ago, our quality was very low. Cheap product, very low quality. But year after year, we have to learn how to earn the hard money. We cannot sell those cheap products anymore. We have to upgrade ourselves, improve ourselves to be well established. So that is something we call self-promoting, kind of elevating, try to build ourselves a better way to contact with the world. So we are very happy to be part of the member of the World Trade Organization. We follow every guideline so that we can upgrade our quality and provide excellent after-sales services. We don't just do one-time business. We do a long-term one. So that's why our office have kept a good archive of quite a few of famous people that visit Taiwan and making very good business with us. One of them, Mr. Aliko Dangote. He visited Taiwan with our visa issuing. He built his business empire starting with some business with Taiwan. And also, His Excellency President Tinubu also visited Taiwan before, starting his business or doing well. So we are very happy to have a good reputation. We have get rid of the low quality product and upgrade ourselves into a very good quality, and then we have a competitive price against the US, against the European. So we have very good business opportunity
it's
here.
Sharing news to hear that yeah, Taiwan products are now upgraded and
yes,
you know, of high quality.
yes.
Thank you for putting us through in
Thank you for that.
Let's take a break, Your Excellency. Yeah.
No problem.
This is Diplomatic Ties on the Nigerian Television Authority, the NTA. We are taking a look at Nigeria-Taiwan relations. The representative and head of Taiwan mission in Nigeria, Andy Liu, is right here, bringing us up to date. The program continues after this short break. Stay with us. We shall be right back. Now, Your Excellency,
Yeah.
with all that you have planned to do in Nigeria, regular power generation is a critical element of production in every economy, but this is unavailable, as you can see, in Nigeria at the moment. What steps would you take to provide the important resource?
Okay.
How are you going to surmount this?
Right.
Yes.
For Taiwan, we've been constantly bothered by energy because we have no natural resource, we have no crude oil. So we import everything either from the Middle East or from Indonesia or from Australia. So we have to constantly think about how we're going to utilize the energy. We cannot depend on oil anymore. We have to work on like nuclear energy, solar energy, wind turbine. But because our government had built at least 3 nuclear power plants in the late 1980s, 1990s, but those power plants are getting retired very soon. So my government are focusing on clean energy very much. Clean energy, that means anything from the sun. So we have the solar power coming up, and then with the wind turbine. That's how we build our next generation of a better way to utilize it. And then we import so much of the nice quality liquefied natural gas from Australia, so that we can run our power plant with a very clean and nice liquefied natural gas. So natural gas, solar energy, and wind turbine are the major focus of our Taiwan government. So I think that can be a good reference for Nigeria also. Not fading completely away from the oil industry, but building something new, building something for the rural area. Because rural area, you need to have good sunshine utilized into solar energy. That's the Taiwan, I mean, we have the advantage of that.
That makes it every time possible for you to manufacture or do anything that you want to do.
Yeah, we have a great industry of doing that. Yeah.
Okay, but let's kind of veer off a little bit. Let's go to education.
Yeah.
What are the opportunities available to Nigerians in Taiwan in the areas of skills acquisition, scholarship, and other professional training? Yes.
It took Taiwan about 40 to 50 years to come up with our illiteracy under 2%. So a basic education is free for all children, and then higher education. And we have experienced the brain drain in the 1990s. So many of our higher educational graduates went to US, went to Europe to get the higher education over there and not coming back to Taiwan. So it brought us a huge effort of attracting talented technology people come back to Taiwan and then restarting our high-end technology business. But at the same time, we need to focus on what might be your future planning for Nigeria. We have planned for Taiwan future for AI, for artificial intelligence. We need to have a huge supply chain to support that. But we need to build. So the most important thing for us to take a reference for Nigeria to think it over is basically you need to try to eradicate illiteracy as much as possible and building a feasible workforce. But at the same time, you need to have a good industrial development policy and bringing Taiwan experience into this. And then we can provide some scholarship and fellowship, because Taiwan benefits from what the U.S. or for the European have been providing scholarship for us, the Taiwanese students, to go there, so that we have provided so many of the opportunity for Nigerian people to go to Taiwan. At least for the last 10, 15 years, we have already have at least 150 Nigerian, either government official or student that come to Taiwan. And as now, we have at least 10 to 15 higher degree study students from Nigeria to study in Taiwan. And we constantly provide not just for academic study, but also training project, because Taiwan is one of the most valuable development or cooperation partner in the world. Because we have one diplomatic ally in Africa, it's called the Kingdom of Eswatini. It used to be called Swaziland. We have diplomatic relations with that country for 55 years. And our mission for medical, mission for technical, mission for agriculture have been in that kingdom for over 4 decades. So that's how we train. We not just want to bring people to Taiwan, we also bring our training project into Africa directly. So this is a mutually beneficiary.
All right. Quickly, I would like you to explain what the One China principle and impacts on China, or on Taiwan actually, Taiwan's international relationship. What was the impact on it?
Right.
Explain the One China.
Okay. Because there's a huge difference between One China principle and One China policy.
Okay, give us the One China principle.
Okay,
that's the
principle is set by the Chinese government in Beijing, but One China policy, because every country has its own policy, diplomatic policy. So not every nation will listen to the Chinese principle. They have their own kind of policy, just like the U.S. The U.S. will always have its own One China policy, but they have their own policy of connecting Taiwan. So that's how Nigerian government started 33 years ago. You have the diplomatic relation with China 40 years ago, but you never stop to have that kind of relation with Taiwan. So we Taiwan survived and struggled well for the last half a century, and we never have the Chinese authorities step into Taiwan for 1 minute, for 1 foot. They never step up. They just claim that they own Taiwan, but they cannot issue our passport, they cannot issue our visa, they cannot come into Taiwan freely. That means we are totally separate from each other. We are a fully independent and sovereign state. We have nothing to do with that government. At the same time, China is still our #1 trading partner. They want to buy everything from us, and we sell them so much. And so we enjoy a huge surplus by trading with China.
Have a good business relationship with them.
Of course, billions and billions of dollars.
Let's come back to Nigeria.
Yeah.
What have been the challenges between Nigeria and the Taiwanese relationship? Have you had any challenges, the two countries?
Well, not for what I have been seeing, because
it's been smooth.
Well, we have to think about something to improve every time, because our mission was originally in Abuja from year 2000 to year 2017. But 2017, our mission moved out of Abuja back to Lagos. So we're trying to persuade your government to give the kind of improvement to move our mission back to Abuja, so that your mission in Taiwan can be relocated back to our capital also. This is something like a reciprocal. With goodwill from your new president and your new National Assembly, I think we can achieve that.
President Bola Ahmed.
Yeah. I think you can. I mean, I think we can achieve that very soon.
Thank you so much for coming on Diplomatic Times, Your Excellency.
Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much.
We just discussed Nigeria-Taiwan relations with the representative and head of Taiwan mission in Nigeria, Andy Liu, explaining to us what Nigeria-Taiwan relations have been over the past 33 years, plus Taiwan's plan to make a part of Nigeria, Taiwan of Africa. Yeah. We can only hope that and pray that these come to fruition in no distant time. On behalf of our crew, this is Nancy Godiangoni, who thanking you for watching.